Hits by the pound.
Yeah, this is how we do it in the Central Colors, man. We got 40 ounces, Old English, rag tops, 6'4" Impalas, and bikini girls, man. This is how we do it on the West Coast. San Diego, San Francisco, Los Angeles. But don't forget about the Central Cali, man. Please don't forget about the Central Cali. Yeah, get 'em.
It's another sunny day in the state of California. Low rider palm trees and G's that put it on ya. This ain't a negative, we speaking ebonics. Rank talk, candy paint on D's with hydraulics. Baseball hat with the sticker on the brim. Don't let the shine blind your sight, cause things can get grim. But I'm not here to talk about banana clips and guns. We're going back to Cali and we're gonna have some fun. A West Coast domination.
And welcome back to Two Face Entertainment Podcast. I am your host, Fred Segura, out here in Monterey County, also known to the world as the Salad Bowl, also known as the Salinas Valley. To the people in LA, we are north. To the people in San Francisco, we are south. Right smack in the middle, best of both worlds. Don't forget about the Central Cali. Anyway, folks, today we are going to talk about that we are only as good as our employees. Right? We're going to talk about jobs. Right? So, look, and this is not to badmouth any job I've had and stuff, but I've had some bad ones, some good, some great ones, right? It is what it is. But this is not about me and my jobs personally. This is just the way things work sometimes with people in general, brown nosers, people who are lazy and take advantage of stuff of that nature, right? So therefore, let's get right into it. So I was working at this one place, and the lead supervisor, right, or not whatever he was, general manager, whatever he was at this point, he any little thing that happened was, let's go outside and let's talk. Let's talk about this, right? We'd go outside, and it was just, sometimes the things were just so petty, right? To where I started to notice, like, hey, dude, like, check this out, bro. If you want to take a cigarette break, don't use me as a clutch. I got on his case about it. I said, hey, listen, man, don't get on me as a clutch. You know what I mean? Don't use me as a clutch. You know what I mean? Or crutch, whatever. And I said, look, this is ridiculous, man. You're wasting time. And he told me one time, he says, hey, you know what, man? He's all, where do you want to see yourself in 5 years? Right? I said, well, hopefully in a higher position here. He goes, exactly, bro. He goes, I want to keep this job, and it was a great job. It was a great job, and it was an awesome job. I enjoyed it, you know what I mean? But people like that just mess it up, though. Because if you're using an excuse to go outside and take people, take advantage of people and or advantage of, what's the word, abuse of power, then that's a problem. Because now you're abusing your power, you're bullying your employees, all because you want a cigarette break. Okay, whatever, bro. You know what I mean? So, long story short, the company folded. You're only as good as your employees and who you employ, right? Leadership as well, you know what I mean? I worked for another place that was just, and I'm gonna be honest with you, maybe I sound like Wayne from Waynesville with a bunch of name tags, right? But no, I mean, we're going there. Where these people would just literally yell at you, right? I hate to put it out there, guys, but it's something that exists. It was a very racial environment. People yelled in your face, made side remarks, yelled at elderly people who were not in the best condition, if you will. They were going through a lot, not only due to perhaps injuries or so on and so forth, just age in general. And I've saw them get yelled in their face. That's another company that went under, right? So yeah, they went under due to bad management, right? And then we come to the employee. That's just a few. Then we come to the employees, sometimes, and you got the brown nosers who go behind your back, and you know what, guys? Here's one thing that I'm gonna touch on, and I'm gonna get off of it really quick because it could be offensive to people. But let's just face something, that it's a reality that happens, at least in the Hispanic community, and not everyone, but there is a lot of. When you are of a Hispanic, Latino, whatever you want to call it, I don't want to offend anybody, right? Chicano, whatever. This does happen. And you happen to be born in the United States, right? There is a difference between the people from where your origin from to yourself. And I don't mean no disrespect by that. But oftentimes a lot of them view us as not being a part of them, right? Therefore they will, and I'm speaking just on my experience, guys. Brown nose to the bigger ups, rather than to go to the supervisor, they'll run to the CEO, right, to rat you out, snitch. Let's be honest of what it is. And a lot of it is due to they are threatened if you speak 2 languages and able to read and write 2 languages. Simplemente como yo, que sé hablar 2 idiomas y sé decir cosas y sé leer y escribir en español, right? Which I said, simply like myself, who knows how to read and write and speak 2 languages, read and write fluently in Spanish. But anyhow, they see a threat to that, and so you are an opposer, and simply you're just trying to work in 9 to 5, right? But hey, it is what it is. Oftentimes those people don't succeed too far. They'll get to where they need to get to in a sense, but then it's like it's just bad karma that happens, And then you have the other employees who, because maybe perhaps you want to be the here's the problem with being the good employee, right? You show up on time. And if you are ever late, it's due to a good reason. But you always show up on time, and you do your job. And if the lead supervisor, manager, whatever it is that you're under, comes and says, "Hey, you know what? Can you do this?" And it's already done. They're like, "What? Really?" Like, "Oh, wow," So you become, the good employee or whatnot, and you start to get these acknowledgments, right? Me, myself, I'm not there for that. I'm there to do a job. Pick up the slack on the employee who is not there. I've always looked at myself at any job as a spare tire, no pun intended. The spare tire meaning, hey, look, check it out. I'm trying to learn everything here. In case there's anybody missing, then guess what? I'm going to pick up the slack and we're going to make it happen. But unfortunately, guys, sometimes that even within itself is a bad thing, because there's always an employee who recognizes that and takes advantage of that situation. Sorry, guys, this is bad lighting here. And takes advantage of that situation. Therefore, you start to Jesus. Excuse me, guys. Therefore, now you are kind of getting a little overwhelmed, right? And then there's sometimes too where you go to your lead person and you say, "Hey, listen, man, like I'm starting to get overwhelmed. This is like not so." See, at this part now, you've done it for so long, they tend to forget that you're human, or they feel like, oh, he's just like whatever, and they want to push you to still do more. Unfortunately, that's where it could come into a problem. As far as even with that, there's also the other employee who perhaps you are put to help out with. That employee recognizes you as the person who has picked up the slack for so and so, and now they excuse me. Let me see if I can make this happen here. Sorry, guys. And now they start to they figured, hey, well, you know what, he or she did that for for that person and bent over backwards in a sense. I'm gonna get the slack off now, and they take advantage of that, and now it becomes a problem, right? And it becomes a bigger problem when the higher ups or the management or your supervisor stops paying attention to you because they expect you to do it, and oftentimes, like I myself have said it, hey, listen, man, I'm here to do a job, I'm not here to do so-and-so's job, I'm here to help that person out. I'm not here to do their job. And that person's demands get higher and higher, and it becomes a thing where you go and now you're busting your tail, and rather than that person helping, they're sitting on their butt twiddling their thumbs or sitting around talking to their friends, right? While you're picking up all the slack. So therefore, that becomes bad management on the sense of the higher ups that should be protecting you, and that's kind of what happens too sometimes when you try to be the good employee. You notice that the person that slacks off the most gets the most recognition. That's just typical, I guess. Gets the acknowledgement, gets a whatever it may be, once in a while they'll throw you a bone, right? And again, I'm not the type of person, I'm not there for that kind of acknowledgement. If, for example, in my line of work that I do is driving a school bus, hey, listen, if there's a bus driver missing, or he misses that day, he or she misses that day, right? And I pick up the slack for it, the parents at home who send their children to school and the students themselves, they don't know anything other than the bus is going to show up at this time. So therefore, they don't need to know what's happening behind the scenes. I got to make it happen. That's just my perspective. So of course, sometimes, hey, it falls back bad, on the good employee. That's just a perspective, guys, of what happens and what's happened that I've experienced it. I'm not going to lie about it. Unfortunately, you have to make a decision, and therefore, sometimes it's for the best, and to be there and saying, well, if I leave, a lot of employees do this. Well, if I leave, they ain't gonna be, they're gonna go crazy without me. They're gonna go down without me. It's like, you know what, bro? I don't look at things that way, nor did I ever see it that way in any perspective. If I left, I left. And I'm at that age where, people say, well, you can't afford to, hey, check this out. Either I do something about it, find something else, or suffer through it and shut up and put up. You know what I mean? Put up and shut up. You know what I mean? Whatever, however it may go, right? So therefore, I'd rather he say, hey, you know what? I'm going to walk away from this because I'm not going to take it. So therefore, it's not even in a bad way. And, yeah, I get it. There's employees there that are probably like, yeah, another one bites the dust. And yeah, we made it happen. We got rid of that person or whatever. Okay, fine. Hey, that's cool. That's cool. If that's what they wanted, hey, cool. It's all good to me. And now good to whoever else leaves if it works that way. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm not going to starve. Trust me, I'm not going to starve. I'm going to make the stuff happen. But at the end of it all, too, though, the thing about it that's funny is you know, I don't hold any resentment towards it. And I'm gonna move this again, guys, because this is getting bad, and I'm gonna have to end this fast. I don't know no resentment towards it, because at the end of it all, oh shoot, I could make that happen. Okay, at the end of it all, any job, oh, there we go. Any job is going to succeed without you, right? Shoot, that made it just worse. Any job's going to succeed without you, man. Like, straight up. Like, you are not expendable. Yeah, I mean, you're expendable. They can replace you. Yeah, they may go through it for a little bit, but guess what? They're going to get back on their feet. And they're going to proceed to move ahead without you. So if you're one person told me, if you were to cock over and have a heart attack, yeah, hey, you know what? They're going to go through it for a little bit, but you know what? They're going to recover and keep moving forward. So it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. If somebody, an employer, due to supervisors, management, higher ups, employees, whatever, if they want to get rid of you, they're gonna make it work that way. And the best sign, you start to see the clues of it. You start to see what's going on. Hey, you know what, brother? You start to see that it's maybe personal for them. Hey, you know what? Hey, to each their own. Hey, they want to feel that way about it. Hey, cool, so be it. There's no hard feelings on this end. It is what it is, and there shouldn't be on any other employee for that matter. But at the end of it all, too, though, how many more people are they going to do that to? It's just a revolving door, So therefore, it should at some point, action should be taken, in my belief. But at the end of it all, too, though, it's none of my business. I'm no longer there, right? Whether it be me or anybody else for that matter, right? And that's it. We continue to move on. We continue to move forward, and you look at things back as an experience, not in a bitter way, just as a learning lesson, and it helps out to create more content. And it helps out of how people work. This is how people function. You know what I mean? And it's not something where you want to throw the race card and do all this other stuff. Hey, you know what? There's shady and bad people of all colors and races. Right? It's not about one specific race. There's crappy people in every race. And there's just shady people in everything, and that's just the way the world works, unfortunately, but it's a reality. With that, guys, this is Two Face Entertainment Podcast. I am your host, Fred Segura, signing out.